Hi there everyone. Today we're going to look at how we play a 7-a-side match in hockey. So what I like to do is play the 3-1-2 formation. So that consists of 3 back players, 2 of them being like wing backs if you like, a centre player and 2 forward players. It's like the 11-a-side game if that's what you play, and you just strip off the back 4 and the middle 3 are just a little bit wider than they'd usually go. So a centre back, your job really is to be the deepest player on the pitch and always offer a transfer. So for example, if you were to play the ball out to here, a common mistake a centre back will do is they'll move into this space. Now if this right wing back gets stuck in here like this with some players, they really have nowhere to go. So the centre back's role is, if you play it there, just come really deep so the ball can be played nice and safely, and then we can transfer to the other side of the pitch or even to the middle if it's on. Okay, so let's remember a centre back should be deep when we have the ball. If we look at the wing backs, when we have it, you want to be nice and wide. Like an expression we like to say is heels on the line. If your heels are on the line, say on a 16, something like this, you are in a good position. When we're defending, however, we're going to be much tighter, and in fact, quite often, like say for example, if the ball is here, then the left wing back would go to engage, the centre back would be here, and then you become like a sweeper role. Okay, so the wing backs have a really tough time, lots of running, so there'll be lots of rotations for those players, just to keep your legs fresh basically. Now, the great thing about these positions is you're also an attacking player. You're an attacker and a defender. Well, I should say actually to start off with, you're all attackers and you're all defenders. It just depends what line you're on. So get that in your head straight away. But the wing backs are a really exciting role. So, for example, if the centre forwards, so centre forwards, we normally line up much more narrow, something like this. So when the ball comes here, by being narrow, what that does is it brings their defenders in as well. Okay, and when you do that, you create so much space, either for the right wing to dribble into, or maybe ideally push the ball into when you make eye contact with one of the centre forwards who's leading. So one would lead high and one would lead to help inside. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So the centre forwards, there's 2 of you, and you're not a left and a right. That is an awful way to think about hockey positions. You are a team of forwards, you're a pair of forwards, and you have to lead together. So one normally goes 2 and one leads high. Okay, so that's basically it. The centre half, it's really important you stay in the middle. Okay, this sort of area, you can go into the circles, that's absolutely fine, especially your attacking circle, but just stay in the middle area. If you go wide and no one drops in to cover you, then we're going to lose the ball in the centre all of the time. Now, your job really is to be a link player. So a lot of countries, they just call him a link rather than a centre half, and because you're a link between the back line and the forward line. Okay, so very busy, and you need to be confident on the ball. Okay, so I think that's enough for you to get the general gist of a position. So let's have a look at some scenarios. Okay, so the press is really important. And the press I like to play is a pocket press. So we have our 2 forwards, these 2, and the centre half. So please, when you are setting a press, at the moment we've got a 16, try and draw a line from where the ball is to your goal. So you'll see the goalkeeper's actually not in the goal at the moment. I'll tell you why in a minute. So if I just grab a line here, something like this. So there is the line. So that is where we are protecting, this sort of area here. So the centre half, that's the middle person, remember. You are fronting that ball up. You're making sure it is not going through you. Okay. And the 2 centre forwards, your role is to be a very threatening front 3. This person here it should find it very difficult to make a decision. It's a very aggressive press. Now, the wing backs, you basically tuck in, so they might just be like a bit here. So you're looking at this player basically, and just making some doubts. You don't, whatever you do, don't go here, right? So we are creating these little pockets. Right? Can you see this little area here between these four, and the same on this side. So this is why it's called a pocket press, because we make the pockets, and we allow the attacking team, for example like this, to go into those pockets. And yeah, so the centre back is the deepest player, and the wing backs just tuck in, and we're protecting this half of the pitch. Now the goalie, I don't want to see you in your goal. I want to see you higher, because if it does get through, you're able to make a challenge, put pressure on the ball. Just remember, you can't use any of your pads outside of the circle, just your stick. As soon as you leave the circle, you're basically an ordinary player without the goalkeeper privileges. Right, so how does it work? So I've set up the forward. So most teams play with a back two defenders, and they play like this. If we're in this situation, I'd rather someone be deep, so offer a transfer. And if they leave someone high, just have the confidence to leave them. Okay, moving forward to 11-a-side, there'll be another back line here. So if they score through some amazing play here, so be it. This is about learning at this stage, and 9 times out of 10, this will work at this level. So what a pocket press is we allow the ball to come in. So the distance between these, it's not a small square. If you think this is around about the middle of the pitch, and then if this is the edge, about halfway, so it's a pretty decent size area to give the players the confidence to go in. But when it goes in, what we need to see is 2 players collapse in, okay? And you've got to make your sticks really low and put a lot of pressure on that player. It's not just this one, it's also this player here. Comes in, we do not allow them to turn, we do not commit a foul, we make them panic, okay? And we will allow this pass. But ideally, if 3 people collapse in, we should win the ball. And when that happens, the centre half will lead and we move the ball as early as we can. And we're going to be practicing this a lot in training, but let's just see how it goes the first game. Do I expect you to get it right? No. The first few times, and then eventually you'll be experts at it, so that will be fine. So that's a pocket press, and it works exactly the same on this side. So if the ball was played into here, we'd have a collapse, another collapse, another collapse, making sure there's no gaps between your sticks. Okay, so you have to think about the run. You're not going in like an arcing run. You're pretty direct. Win the ball, and then we can lead to move the ball early. Okay, so I'll say it on this one. If these have collapsed, obviously we're not spectators. Okay, we're part of this team. So just in case something terrible does happen, what you should be doing, and any time it breaks through our line of defense, you basically run goal, which is you draw a line to your goal and you run it. Okay, so for example, the goal's in this direction, so be running in this to offer support. If this player somehow magically gets through, we now have backup. Okay, so it's pretty safe. This player will very quickly get onto this player, and we'll be closing this player, maybe looking to push them out nice and wide, not focusing on the tackle, just making their life difficult. And obviously we have recovering defenders the whole time. At this point, the goalkeeper, depending on the situation, if you are 1v1, you're obviously going to come out, make it difficult. Or if our players recover, well, you can go back to your goal. Okay, that's fine. So let's just set that up one more time. And I would expect to see this wherever the ball is on the pitch. Okay, there's one exception. I wouldn't expect to see this. So how do we line up? What I want to see is not in a line, because if you're flat like this, one ball beats 2 players very easily. And we don't mind too much because we want it to come into this pocket, but it's better just to take a step forward, maybe a step back, something like this. It makes it easier to make an interception, because if the interception's on, obviously we're going to take it, yeah. If the players come here, then we'll just collapse in like this. Okay, we'll collapse in here and here. That's not a problem for us, okay? But most teams won't have the confidence to do this, and they'll be like that. Okay, so I do want to say one more thing about this press, and that's if they move the ball somewhere like here. So if this player drops and they move it here, that's okay. We only collapse when it's like this. So all I would expect you to do is look at the direction of the ball and all move that same movement. So we basically take our pocket press over the same length, same direction as the ball, okay? And we set up again. So if it comes into this pocket, we collapse in with 1, 2, 3. If it comes into this pocket, the same again, 1, 2, 3. The center, this forward player here, the center half, does not collapse because you are outlet ball, so we can move the ball early. And yeah, we just deal with it. If it comes down the line, obviously we can pick it. If they have a player here, then you might just step and just block that, just allow it to come into the pocket. And that's really, really important. Okay. So we just defend the ball to goal line. We do not defend the width. We let it go wide and then we transfer over and then we win it in the pocket over here. Okay, but that is our objective. Get it in the pocket and collapse. If it gets through, just run to our goal line. Don't run to the ball because we have players already there. Run to goal and then reassess. Look for danger, and that's that. This is the exception. So let's say they have a ball here. They have lots of players in the circle. You know, back to formation basically. So we have the two centre forwards making it difficult, putting pressure on the ball. But you'll notice that everyone is defending. That's because we're all defenders. When we attack, we all attack. Okay. Ideally, one centre back or the centre back is free. Okay, because then you can mop up anything. And when we defend goal side. So here's the goal. So this is not goal side. The goal should be you should be between the player and the goal. Okay, so we play a mark in the circle and we just really make it difficult. Okay. All right, in the next video, I'll talk about taking 16s and other positional play, but that is really important. I hope you can take that on board for this season. And if you're watching it and I'm not your coach, please use it, take it on board, practice it. And on my channel or other channels, if you just YouTube pocket drills, you'll be able to find loads of exercises how to practice. Good luck.